Hey, welcome to another episode of Mindset Monday. Super excited for today's episode. Why? Because I got my little drawing pad here. I'm going to be using the whiteboard online, and we're going to be talking about motivation, how to develop it over time, how to stay more intrinsically motivated over long periods of time, because motivation comes and goes. So we're going to be talking about that. I want to jump right into that right now, actually. So, first thing, let me see if this is working. All right, here we go. Cool. So I did a little practice run beforehand, and we'll talk about this too, but going into this, I don't have too much confidence because I've only used it once. This is the first time I'm using the app. The more that you use stuff, the more that you practice things, the more you develop confidence. So we'll be talking about that in a moment, a little foreshadowing. But the key of today, motivation, everything is going to be circling back to motivation right here. I'm going to do a little mind mapping so you can see how my thoughts are broken down. But the key to staying motivated over long term is confidence. Don't mind my sloppy handwriting too. Like I said, I gotta get used to this. So let me move this over a little bit. If you want to stay motivated over long periods of time, the best way you can do that is through confidence. Why? Because the more confident you are, the more likely you're going to stick to that pursuit of whatever it is that you're chasing. So I'm going to pick an example, math. So I'm going to stick with math mostly throughout this video just as one concept, but you can apply this to anything because the message is the same. So how do we actually develop our confidence? So you hear this all the time. People will say, oh, I'm not good at math. I suck at math. Math is boring and bad. I'm just not good at it. That's a negative mindset to have. It's a fixed mindset. You don't want to go down that path. The best way you can develop your confidence, though, is by getting outside your comfort zone. So the more you travel outside your comfort zone, the more you're going to develop that confidence. So let me go over here a little bit. I want to use an analogy. So let's say, let me get one of these tools over here. I want to use a shape. Get a circle. All right, cool. Let me zoom out a little bit. Boom. Okay. So you have this big circle right here. These are all the experts. Okay, this is people that have, whoop, that's not what I want. Get back the pen. All right, these are experts. They have mastered a specific concept. So they have mastery. If you want to get to this level, even if you want to get close to it, doesn't mean you necessarily have to get there, but that's kind of the goal, right? You want to get to that expert level. And this is you right here. Okay, you're right there. What you need to do, you need to get a little bit further. Hold on. Let me see if I can, nope. Technical difficulties. Oh, that's not what I want either. Struggled. Okay, here we go. Bring it back. So anyway, this is you. And you want to get to this level. What you need to do is you need to work within this zone. You're just going one step out of your comfort zone. You don't need to shoot for the stars right away. It's a process. You just need to take things to the next level. So going back to our math example, if this is you as a math student, you want to just work on your skills that are a little bit more than what you're capable of. You need to challenge yourself and you need to push yourself, because once you do that, you're building this confidence. You're like, oh, you know what? I can take things to the next level. I'm capable of doing this. If you try doing like calculus or trigonometry or like linear algebra or whatever it is, if you start doing this advanced stuff and you're not capable of doing it, you're going to give up a lot easier, quicker, faster, because you're not building that. Your motivation is just going to fall apart because you're not developing that confidence over time. If you work yourself up and you keep going, you keep developing these circles, and then you work within that area, and now you're working, let's use red. Now you're over here, and then you work, see, technical difficulties. I gotta get used to this. So if you keep working in this area, well, let's say you worked in this area. What? Just turn into a circle. Okay. So if you keep working in that area and now you want to work in this area here, you keep focusing on pushing yourself more and more. All right, so I think you understand the concept. I'm focusing too much on the technical aspect of drawing the circles, trying to multitask thinking while drawing. It's a challenge, but that's the whole point, right? If I'm trying to get to this expert level of being able to do some mind mapping and being able to use this whiteboard while also sharing my thoughts, I have to develop that confidence, meaning I have to get outside my comfort zone and I have to continue to push myself and grow. All right, so speaking of that, let me see where my pen is at. I don't want red, I want black. Here we go. So the next thing is growth mindset. Now, you've probably heard this before, and there's a reason why. Because it's true, it's important, it's fundamental, it's something that you absolutely need to have. Now, if you don't have a growth mindset, that means you have a fixed mindset. I'm not going to go into the detailed explanation of what growth mindset is. You kind of should know that already. Basically means that you're willing to learn and you don't believe that your intelligence is fixed, like, oh, I'm only this smart, which means I can never get smarter. No, you believe you can get smarter. Going back to this analogy over here, you can continue to improve on your skills. Okay, now the key with having a growth mindset is, which helps develop your confidence, is failure. Okay? You have to expect that you're going to fail. And on top of that failure, you have to lower your expectations. Not lower your expectations, let me rephrase that. You have to understand what your expectations are. So expectations, meaning that if you want to have a growth mindset, let me zoom out a little bit here. Okay, no, if you have a growth mindset, you want to develop your confidence by stepping outside your comfort zone. You have to have a growth mindset in order to reach that expert level. You have to understand you're going to fail. So you can't just give up every time you fail. If you're doing a math problem and you don't get it right, go back and try to figure it out. Look at your notes. Ask a friend for help. Ask your teacher for help. Go on Google, look it up. Go on Khan Academy. Go on YouTube, try to find the answer. Whatever it is, you have to have these expectations that you're going to fail. And when you do, you become way more patient. And that's the key. Patience. When you become patient, you understand it's a process. You understand that you're going to have to struggle in order to get to that point. And when you do that, you're not like beating yourself up if you don't get a problem right. You're not beating yourself up if you're working on, like, let's say you're playing basketball, stepping outside of the academic field right now. Let's say you're working on a sport and you're working on your jumper. Yeah, you're going to have to continue to practice it. You have to be patient with that process, knowing that with your expectations, you're going to fail. But if you continue to have a growth mindset, that's not what I want there. If you continue to have a growth mindset and you continue to step outside your comfort zone, knowing that if you keep challenging yourself, you're going to fail. And that's the point. You want to fail because the more you fail, the more you realize you're not at that level yet. So you got to keep working to get to that level. And then once you get to that next level, then you take your game up to that next level, even further up. So you have to continue to go down that path. Excuse me. So another part of having a growth mindset is learning. Okay? So if you want to become an expert and a master at something, you have to continue to learn. If you're not learning, you're not going to actually grow. Okay? There are multiple ways that you can learn. I'm not sure which way I want to go here. Let me go down. Experience. One of the best ways you can learn about anything is through experience. Okay? The more experience you have, hold on, I'm multitasking right here. I need to zoom out. I want to zoom out a little bit. Whoa, what just happened there? Okay. Hold on. Let me erase this. Okay. Boom. Thank you for being patient. See, this is also a point I want to make, where your experience will help you learn, which will help you develop that confidence. My experience in getting familiar with this app, the whiteboard app, Whiteboard, is the best way I can learn. There are other things that you can do too, okay? You can watch videos. You can read books. I think I changed the setting so it changes shape, so my font is getting a little weird, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. You can find mentors. You can find teachers and coaches. Mentors. They have experience. Another thing that you want to do, you want to be around people that are better than you. I was going to write better than you, but there's a lot of room. So if you want to learn, find mentors, teachers, coaches, people that have more experience, people that are better than you, because you want to surround yourself with people that have already done it. That's how you learn. It's kind of the circle of life, right? It's like the reason why I'm teaching math is because a lot of my students haven't learned math yet because they're in 6th grade or 7th grade or 8th grade. So I have to continue to teach them so they learn it too, right? Because I'm a coach. Or I'm a teacher. So going back to the growth mindset over here and going back to confidence, this is getting bigger. Well, this should have been bigger, but in order to have more confidence under the branch of a growth mindset, you want to develop self-discipline. This is extremely hard, and it's not easy, but when you can develop self-discipline to continue to grow and to continue to step outside your comfort zone, that's how you're going to develop more confidence. Because when you're confident, for example, let's stick to math. Let's go back to math. Let's say you're working on a math problem and it's easy and you get it right. You're more likely to continue to go down, you continue doing math problems. So for example, I see this all the time. A lot of students that say they're good at math, they love doing math problems. Why? Because they're good at it and they have the confidence where they want to continue to work out those problems. The students that feel like they're not good at math, they give up a lot easier. They don't have the same motivation because they're not as confident. So if you want to continue to work out those problems and make it easy for yourself, you have to develop that confidence by pushing yourself. And you won't be able to push yourself if you have no self-discipline. You need to hold yourself accountable. That's the next part of this, accountability. Holding yourself accountable or finding an accountability partner, someone, whether it's your parent, a friend, a teacher, a coach, a student, a coach, whoever it is, when they hold you accountable, you're more likely to develop that self-discipline if you can't do it on yourself. There's nothing bad about having an accountability partner. It's been proven to work. That's why people like LeBron James and athletes, they have personal trainers and coaches. Why? Because they help push them. It's why people get tutors to help work with them one-on-one. It's why we have coaches in sport. It helps develop that self-discipline. If you want to take things to the next level, you have to have some kind of accountability partner or hold yourself accountable too. Okay? And another way to develop that self-discipline is to work hard, okay? If you're not working hard, you're never going to accomplish your goals and you're going to fall behind. Work ethic is a big thing that I believe in. I believe you can teach it. I believe you can develop it over time. I remember growing up, I was pretty lazy in a lot of areas, and there are various reasons for that, maybe because I wasn't as passionate about something, but now I'm workaholic. And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying it is what it is. I love to work, I grind, and because I want to accomplish my goals and I want to step outside my comfort zone. So developing a good work ethic will lead to self-discipline, which will lead to more skills. Another way that you can develop your self-discipline is by dreaming big. The reason why I say dream big is because when you have these big, lofty goals, these big dreams, it's going to make motivation a lot easier for you. Okay? Because if you want to stay motivated, the bigger your dream is, you have this higher level. See this expert mastery section over here? If this is you here, and let's say the circle is so big, you're just going to keep working your way up, and that's how you get better. And then you continue to develop more self-confidence. So another thing I want to talk about confidence. Let me branch off over here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Another one in terms of confidence is fake it till you make it. There's a reason why this doesn't work. Fake it till you make it, okay? The reason why it doesn't work is because you know deep down that you don't actually have the confidence. Now, there's a reason why it says fake it, because deep down you know that you're not at that level yet. You can't trick yourself. You can't convince yourself with like, oh yeah, I'm the best basketball player in the world. No, you know you're not LeBron James, right? You know you're not. So by faking it, you're not actually developing your confidence, you're actually hurting yourself. Okay? So I don't really want to go any further into that, but faking it until you make it isn't a way to build your confidence. This is a mindset thing, and confidence isn't actually as much of a mindset as you would think it is. Confidence, as you can see here, is more about actually an attitude, and it's more about a behavior and taking action. Because the more action you take with a positive attitude, the more confidence you're going to have. Now, there is mindset involved, but you can't just overnight be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to believe in myself, and now you're automatically the most confident person in the world. No, having that self-belief in yourself is important, but it's not the only part to it. It's not the only part to the equation, okay? So, another part in developing confidence, I'm going to move, I need to go over here. I'm going to go over here, is preparation. I don't know why my pen is getting thicker. I guess it's like the zoom in stuff, because before here it's a little smaller, but now it's getting bigger. Anyway, if you want to prepare, or not prepare yourself, if you want to develop more confidence, preparation is key. So here's a couple examples. One would be athletes, right? And so athletes, and I'll talk about that in a second. Also, students. So actually, I'll talk about students first. So for students, let's use an exam as an example. No pun intended. So an exam. If you want to do better on an exam, what do? You practice, you study, you get extra help. With that extra help, when you study and you're prepared for the exam, you're more likely to do well. So when you're prepared, you feel more confident. Right? If you don't study for a quiz or an exam, you're not going to go in there with the confidence like, oh yeah, I'm going to get an A on it. No, because you didn't study. You didn't prepare for it. That's why you don't have the confidence. So preparation is key. It's the same thing with athletes, right? Before a game, they practice. There's a reason why they practice. It's because they want to be prepared for the game. How do you practice? They go over the fundamentals. That should be an A, fundamentals. Spelling error. This is an A. So if you want to practice, in sports like basketball, baseball, any sport, right? You do drills to practice the fundamentals so you're ready for the game. So you do other stuff than just drills, but you do drills. Whoop. It's a little harder than I thought. Drills, you go over strategy. Well, that's not how you build strategy. Well, EGY. Okay, whatever. So strategy. Where am I? So you got drills and strategy. When you go over the strategy, like the game plan, then that's part of the practice. For the athletes, you feel more prepared and you're more likely to do well. Okay? Also, in terms of, my map is a little off here. I'm losing it. Stay focused, Mike. Speaking of focus, when you're practicing, you gotta be focused. Because when it comes down to game time, you're in the zone. You're not thinking about anything else that's going on. You're not thinking about this person. You're not thinking about the to-do list. You're not thinking about homework or school or drama or any of that stuff. When it comes to the game, you're focused on the game and you're in the zone. You're in that flow state. And you have to have that when you're practicing too, because you're developing that kind of mindset. So when you are practicing, you're in a focused mode. So you're more prepared, so you have more confidence, and you're more likely to stay motivated throughout. So it all goes back to everything there. All right, let's see what else. I feel like, what else am I talking about here with the map. In terms of preparation, I guess I do want to talk about one more thing here. See my pen. All right, preparation. Life. All right, so if you want to be more prepared for life itself, it's kind of like an exam, right? You need to continue to learn life skills. So I guess I'll write life skills. This could be stuff like habits. I think I need to zoom in a little bit more. That's why it's getting thick. All right. You got habits here. Okay. Learning about habits. Routines. You can even say, whoa. Didn't know you can do that. That's cool. Nope. Whoa. All right, hold on. Okay, there we go. All right. So habits and routines, all of that stuff actually helps you become more confident. Because when you're developing a good system, right, you have habits and routines that allow you to develop the life skills, so you do become more prepared for life. So when adversity comes, you're able to handle that because you got the right mindset, you got the right attitude, and you're just prepared with all the different tools. So you'll feel more confident and you'll be able to stay more motivated. So let's say you do, I need adversity here. Life, adversity. Okay? When adversity hits, you have to have the right mindset, and you have to have the right attitude. Okay? When you have the attitude and you have the right perspective, because mindset's perspective on how to face adversity, when life throws you a curveball or punches you in the face and you have to deal with something really difficult, you're prepared for that now. So when you're prepared for it, you can handle it with confidence, and it allows you to continue to pursue whatever path it is. Let's say, for example, going back to math. Let's say in math that you fail an exam, right? So you studied for an exam, you failed it, and even though you were prepared and you studied, you still have the confidence because going back to that growth mindset, when you do fail, you know your expectations or that you're going to fail from time to time. It's a given. It's not going to make you feel insecure about yourself. You're not going to doubt yourself or feel like a failure or feel like a loser or feel like you're not good enough because you have these expectations and you're patient with the process, knowing that you're going to fail and that you're working your way up to this outer level, and it's a step-by-step process and it's a journey. So by stepping outside your comfort zone, you're developing that confidence where you're going to continue to stay motivated, even if you studied and you failed. So if you want to get better at something, if you want to get better at anything in life, if you want to be motivated to continue to work on those skills, whether it's math, whether it's sports, whether it's just life in itself, personal development, personal growth, the fundamental key is confidence. In order to build that confidence, you have to step outside your comfort zone. You have to continue to push yourself. You have to have that self-discipline, and you have to have that growth mindset. And if you're not learning on a regular basis through experience, through books or videos, through mentors, your teachers, surrounding yourself by people that are better than you, and if you're not preparing yourself like the athletes do by practicing, developing the fundamental skills, staying focused, if you're not preparing yourself like a good student by studying so you're ready for the exam, if you're not preparing yourself for life so you develop the good habits, the routines, the attitude, the right mindset, you're not going to get yourself to the next level. All right? So my battery's running low, so this is a perfect timing. So let me just zoom out here because I want everything. Whoa, that's not. Let me go home. Okay, whoa, this is cool. Okay. So this is basically my mind map on how to stay motivated for long periods of time. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for sticking throughout the whole thing. Subscribe to my channel and like the video. Also, leave a comment below if you're interested or you got anything interesting to say. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you found this valuable. Hopefully it motivates you to continue to have that mindset to build your confidence. Once again, it's a process. You got to keep working your way. Watch this video again, and that's pretty much it. That's all I got for you. You know who it is. It's Mr. B, aka Mikey B. Peace.